Okay. Welcome everybody, and thank you so much for joining us. I did say I'm only going to take about 2 minutes. I ran this through AI, and it told me it would take me about 2 minutes to say this. So, I'm gonna, so welcome everybody to the 34th Siyum of our Daily Gratitude Tehillim, which is a group of about 400 women right now who say one chapter of Tehillim a day to give gratitude to Hashem for all the blessings He provides us with. And we are now finishing our 34th round. So this round of Tehillim, and I thank those of you who are not part of this group but who knew Robin Nee for joining us. So this round of gratitude, daily gratitude Tehillim, was dedicated to Robin Nee, Rivka Bas David Tevel. This round began on the day of her Shloshim. Although she did not have a religious upbringing, she loved saying Tehillim and davening, and she told me that often. Even after her stroke took away her ability to speak, she would mouth the words of davening and Tehillim if you would read them with her. Robin was a very strong woman. She tenaciously, single-handedly fought for her son to have a good Jewish education, fought to send him to yeshiva, and he is currently learning in Kollel, married with a growing family, Baruch Hashem. Her son was her life, and she really did everything she could possibly for him. She even paid tuition for her stepdaughter's children to go to a Jewish school to ensure that they would have a Jewish education. Robin was a dedicated friend who went out of her way to do favors for others, being particular to do things the way that they wanted it, even if they didn't specifically ask, but she knew that they wanted it this way, she would make sure to do it their way. And may our recital of Tehillim be an aliyah for her neshama. I'd like to introduce Rabbi Stauber. He's been my mentor for quite a number of years now. And Rabbi Stauber lives in Israel. And I'm going to leave to him to introduce himself, but he likes to bring modern psychology into the service of Torah, personal growth, and development. And his talks are available on Torah anytime, and he will tell you more about himself. Thank you, Rabbi Stauber.
Okay, I guess that's my cue. Uh, thank, thank you very much. It's really a beautiful introduction. First of all, it's really nice to hear about Robin and to be speaking at this very special event, completing Tillim again and again. It's beautiful, just as gratitude. It's wonderful. And I'm not going to talk too much about myself. Um, I love to learn Torah and to teach Torah, and as a occupation, I've become a therapist. It's part of my own personal growth journey, and it's really a passion of mine to combine the two, to take all the wonderful tools of modern psychology and bring them into the service of Torah. Really, the classes that are available on Torah Anytime are very often through that lens, trying to understand the Torah in a way that we can apply it to ourselves. And I'm going to post in the chat a link to join a WhatsApp group where I send out short thoughts a few times a week that are in line with this way of learning Torah and personal growth. And there's also a website where people could really access the classes and all my offerings to the Jewish people. So I'm just going to click on that now. And that's the WhatsApp chat. If anybody wants to join that, they can. And then under that, I posted the website. And without further ado, I'll jump into today's thoughts or message. So the first thing I would like to share with you, just in line, because this is a gratitude group, I want to share something very special with you. It's kind of like gratitude 2.0. Okay, so the concept, and this is really the essence of the Bitachon seminar that I've been zeicha to run and lead for a few rounds. And the question is, how does one grow in Bitachon? How does one increase their level of faith? Right? So we have some degree of faith, of belief in Hashem. How do we grow? If let's say from a scale of 0 to 10, if someone says, well, I believe in Hashem, level 5, but I would like to up that. I would like to start trusting Hashem more than I currently do. So how can I grow in that way? Obviously, intellectually, I already sign up to the fact that Hashem is kind and He's benevolent and He's all powerful and He could and He is taking care of me. But okay, it's not enough to know it intellectually. I want to feel it in my heart. How do I go ahead and increase that? So the concept is that gratitude is a great path toward there because besides for gratitude being a way to appreciate and maybe give back, gratitude is also a way for us to simply enjoy all of the kindness that Hashem is currently giving us. And the best way to increase our sense of trust is simply positive experience. Right? We know this also from modern psychology, that the way to rewire our brain toward any goal is to simply enjoy an experience. When we enjoy when I'm working with couples, for example, in marriage, I'm trained in something called EFT, emotionally focused therapy for couples. And what EFT teaches is that the way to help couples have a wonderful relationship is not to teach them communication strategies and techniques and skills. Most people already know how to talk. It's actually to help them experience connectful encounters in therapy. And when they are experiencing a nice, warm, yummy, connectful interaction, the subconscious part of the brain learns what it was that they were doing. When we enjoy something, our brain connects to it. We love enjoying things. People are naturally designed for pleasure. So whatever we enjoy, we don't have to figure it out. Our whole system is aligned to be thirsty for more of whatever that good stuff was, right? So by learning to enjoy the life that Hashem is giving us and having gratitude for it, we're already learning to trust Hashem. We don't have to like fight for it and like repeat it and work hard. And here's the key. Instead of trying to have bitachon for the things that you don't have, try to have bitachon for the things that you do have. For example, if let's say somebody's earning $1,000 every month at work, and they're like, oh, that's not enough money. I need $1,200. So I'm gonna have bitachon in Hashem that the same way He gave me 1,000, He could give me 12, and I'm gonna daven to Hashem to get a raise at work, and I'm gonna speak to my boss. The tendency is to focus on the $200 that we don't have yet, the $200 that's not in our paycheck. And how could I increase my bitachon, my faith, to believe that God could give me those $200? So my suggestion is that's very difficult. Let's work more easy. Instead of trying to trust that Hashem will increase my salary for those $200 that I don't yet have, how about trying to enjoy the fact and have faith in the fact that Hashem is already giving me $1,000 every month? It's so much easier to trust that Hashem will give me $1,000 next month than He will give me $1,200. And we all know that the first $1,000 is also coming from God, right? So you can actually work on your bitachon, on what you quote unquote already have, because we actually don't really have it. We know that. It's just like a trick, but it feels like we have it. So let's give back the gifts to Hashem, the ones that we think we already have. Ask Him for the gifts that we already have, because we don't really have them. It's just we think that we have them because we're so used to getting them. That's kind of what gratitude is, right? Gratitude is not to take it for granted, appreciate that Hashem is giving me my eyesight, my health. I could talk, I could breathe, I could be talking to all you people right now, right? So that simple ability, if I don't take it for granted, if I say, wait a minute, Hashem, could you please give me the ability to talk to these nice ladies and sound intelligent and share some divrei Torah with them? Okay, thank you. So then like kind of receive that gift from Hashem, have gratitude, and it's so much easier to ask for the things that we think we have than to ask for the things that we don't yet know that Hashem could give us. So what this is about is that using gratitude to take it to the next step, using gratitude to build trust, because Hashem, it's easy, so to speak. It's much easier for us to trust Hashem that He's going to continue to giving us the things that He has been giving us than it is to trust Him that He'll start giving us things that He has not yet begun to give us. Right? So using gratitude as a way to build bitachon. I wanted to share that with you, even though this concept is not on the agenda for today's class, because when Mrs. Young, I guess, was saying how this is a gratitude chabura, a gratitude group, that's just so inspiring. It's so wonderful, and I just wanted to share with you how gratitude is a highway. It is a passageway toward increasing faith, bitachon, and Amir Tashem. I'll be running this is the concept of okay, that's a cute little thumbs up. I'm looking forward to running a bitachon. It's called Bitachon Boot Camp, and it's a seminar that I run about bitachon. I hope to get to that in a few months from now, actually. Okay, so getting to today's main topic, and just a question: how much time do we have? Like, is it okay? I had in my mind that we're going until 1:45. Is that like another half hour? Does that make sense?
Perfect. Perfect.
Okay. Okay, so I'll try to tailor my remarks to fit in that time frame. I actually have a little bit of an ambitious curriculum for today. We'll streamline it a little bit. I want to try to cover 3 segments. Segment number 1 is surprisingly Teshuvah. The reason why I say that is because the best time of year to do Teshuvah is immediately after Yom Kippur. The hardest time to do Teshuvah is in Elul, and the easiest time is after Yom Kippur. Now, why do I say that? Is because we have to clarify a distinction between 2 things. One thing, well, teshuvah means self-improvement, becoming a better version of ourselves, getting closer to Hashem, right? The definition of teshuvah, according to the Mabit, is kirva l'Hashem meirichu kachet, which means getting close to God away from the distance caused by sin. Now, there's another thing going on in the month of Elul. Everybody knows about the big judgment day. There's the Sifrei Chaim v'Sifrei Mesim. There's these big books, and everyone wants to be granted a year of life, a year of health, a year of prosperity, a year of nachas, all the good things. So that's kind of distracting. It's really hard to really focus on personal growth and personal development when there's quite literally a gun to our head. And it's like, either do teshuvah or else. I mean, it's really distracting. It's like, but after Yom Kippur's over, the gun has been put down and we're good. Whatever the judgment happened already. And we're good for the next year or not, but whatever it is, okay, the pressure is off. And now we could just focus on, do I want to be a better person? Do I want to get closer to Hashem? And there is no longer a distraction of a big judgment day. So that's why I think it's a great time to talk about teshuvah now, because we could just approach the question of teshuvah in a relaxed way, without any deadlines, without any pressure. So let's talk for a second. Well, let me just first outline. That's the first section, teshuvah. The next topic I want to talk about very quickly is personal success. Okay, how to succeed at goals. I want to share with you a system very well known. Stephen Covey, he wrote a global best-selling book on the 7 habits of highly effective people. So I'm going to share the first 3 habits and how to apply them to Torah or personal growth. Okay? And then the third section of the talk is my favorite, and it's about Shabbos Kodesh, and it's a whole new way. Unfortunately, I wish it wasn't so new, but it took me a few decades to learn how to say it so clearly, and I never cease to be amazed that not only was I not taught this, but lots of people don't seem to know this, and it's really a very simple way of understanding the essence of Shabbos Kodesh and how it fits into doing teshuvah and personal success. So this is the 3 pillars, so to speak, of today's talk and of the seminar that we actually ran during Elul. Number 1, teshuvah, self-improvement. Number 2, the 3 habits of Stephen Covey for success. And number 3, how Shabbos Kodesh fits into all of this. Okay, so without further ado, what's the secret of sustainable teshuvah? Everybody knows that we want to do teshuvah. Elul comes and, oh, let's be a better person. And then now we have to deliver, right? So what's the secret of sustainable teshuvah? So let's learn from the experts. There's people called Baalei Teshuvah. Everybody knows that there's these, the secular people become a Baal Tshuva. They're amazing. How do they do that? They just completely turn their life over. Boom! They used to be like not religious, and now they are. And it seems to last. The ones that I know, they make this huge change in their life, and it keeps on going. And every year I come back, I'll be a good boy, I promise. And like, how come it doesn't last? What do they know? What do the Baalei Tshuva know? What are they doing right? And here's something really, really simple. Baalei Teshuvah, as far as I can tell, the reason why their Teshuvah is sustainable is because why? Why do Baalei Teshuvah do Teshuvah? And what is different about the Baalei Teshuvah's motivation than the Teshuvah that from people like me, us from guys, guys and girls, we do every Elul? It's very simple. Baalei Tshuva do tshuva because they want to. Somewhere, in some reason, they said, "Oh wow, that's a better way to live. That's a life upgrade." Maybe they were at a Shabbos table and they said, "Like, well, I love that Jewish family. I want that in my life." Or maybe they were blown away by a Torah shir. I don't know what it was. Everyone's got a different. Maybe they just like the way cholent tastes. I don't know, right? But everyone's got some reason why they're like, wow, religious life is an upgrade. It's a better way for me to live. So they do tshuva because they want to, which is why it lasts. And as a firm person, that's also true. But why am I doing tshuva and Elul? Not only because I want to, but also because I have to. There's an obligation. Once you learn Torah, you become aware of, well, we're obligated to do teshuvah because there's a God. He took us out of Egypt, and we have a Torah, and we're guilty. We're bad if we don't do it, and we're ashamed if we don't do it, and everyone else is doing it, and I want to be, as good. So there's like a lot of other reasons that get mixed in. Now, besides, I mean, we also have the real reason, we just like this. We have that also, but we get confused and it gets complicated by so many other factors. If you think about every teenager learns how to drive more or less. If you think about how do they do that? How do millions, billions of teenagers across the globe all get their driver's license? Doesn't matter how teenagery they are, they're going to get out of bed, right, to get their driver's test. And even if they fail the first time, you can pretty much count on it. They're going to try again. Where does that come from? Why do teenagers keep on trying until they succeed at getting that driver's license? Well, the answer is simple. Driving gives them freedom. Driving is a life upgrade. Driving is exactly what they want. People succeed at what they want. So if you want to succeed at tshuva, we have to think about why we want it. Don't think about why you should do it. Don't think about why it's the right thing. Just think about what about what's in it for me? Okay. I hate to sound so, but I actually don't. I'm just kidding. I love sounding this way. Like the way to succeed, okay, is to ask, what's in it for me? Why do I want to be closer to God? Not why should I? Why am I a bad boy or girl if I don't? Because guilt and shame are good short-term motivators, but they don't take you the distance. You only go the distance if you're having fun. And you're only having fun. You can't go, I mean, you don't get re-energized unless you're having a good time. And you're only having a good time if you're doing what you want. So if you think about all the people who are earning, they're learning, going to college, getting a career. These are people keep on succeeding. They keep on trying again. Why? Because it's really important to them. So in a nutshell, the secret to sustainable teshuvah that lasts long after Yom Kippur, it lasts till Hanukkah, it lasts all the way till Purim and Pesach. We want that kind of teshuvah. The teshuvah that lasts, it's a teshuvah that answers the question, why do I want this? So instead of asking, what should I do? What's the right thing? What I ought to do? Let's start with the question is, what's in it for me? Why is it a life upgrade for me? Okay, this is kind of section one. This is like what teshuva means to me and how I think it's a really great attitude to begin, sustainable teshuva. This leads us into Stephen Covey's, and I'm going to borrow the first three of his habits of success, because ultimately that one word says it all. I never met anybody who says they don't like success. If I go, hey, would you like to succeed? No, success is boring. You're like, I mean, no one ever told me that. Maybe there's someone out there, but it's usually an easy sell. Whatever you're trying to do, you want to succeed at that thing, right? So Stephen Covey says, I've got habits that you could learn, and these are the secrets. He said, like, there's a natural law of success, just like you would never farm without learning the laws of agriculture, and you wouldn't expect to succeed at farming if you didn't know, about sunlight and water and nutrients and soil and wind and all kind of topography. Who knows, right? You got to learn lots of stuff if you want to be successful in any field. You want to be healthy, you learn about nutrition, you learn about there's science that you got to learn if you want to succeed at something. And no one would think that they're going to succeed if they go against the laws of nature. If you drop something, gravity says it will fall. You can't like deny the laws of nature and expect to succeed at life. And Stephen Covey points out there are laws of success, and most people don't know what they are. The code has been cracked. These are the laws of success. And I'm going to share with you the first three habits. And the reason why it fits into our conversation is because whatever it is that you want to succeed at in the sense of getting closer to Hashem, so now that you know you want it, well, let's figure out how to get it. The same thing that secular people use to succeed at whatever their life is, and this works for millions of people globally, and it doesn't matter what race or ethnicity you are. These habits have been proven successful. Us Jewish people can use it too in our pathway to get closer to Hashem. Let's say, for example, someone says, I love how kind God is. I love it. God is He created this whole world and He's giving. I want to be more like that, right? Dependable. Every day, that sun is shining. I want to be that kind of sun in people's life. I want to be dependable as the sun. Okay, just for example, okay. But the point is, you choose the thing that being more like God excites you. Okay, I want to be a giving person. I want to be a dependable person. I want to be an authentic person. You choose it. Okay, and these three habits will help you get there. The habit number one is called the habit of proactivity, and it means instead of unsuccessful people kind of are living in reactivity. Reactivity means, oh, I've got lots of reasons why I can't succeed. I've got so many good reasons why. I'll blame it on my genetics. Oh, I've got poor family situation. I don't have enough money. I don't. My environment wasn't good. My childhood wasn't good. I've got trauma. I've got some people are so mean to me. Etc. Successful people don't focus on what they can't control. They focus only on what they have power over. And they're always able to be successful. And here's a really powerful line borrowed from Viktor Frankl. I'm sure you may know he's Jewish and he went through the Holocaust. He was in Auschwitz where he developed his theory of psychology. And he came up with the most incredible line that talks about this freedom. And here's the line. In between stimulus and response is a space. And in that space lies our power to choose our response. And in that choice lies all of our freedom and growth. It's worth repeating a few times. It's very deep, right? But what it means is that we're always free in the arena of how we choose to respond to life's circumstances and events. And that is actually all that matters. And let's take that a little more deeply. Why is that all that matters? I want to tell you a little science, how the inner world of how we choose to respond to life is the only thing that matters, not only in our inner world, but also in our external success. Harvard, I'm sure you've heard of it, pretty well-known university. The longest study ever conducted by Harvard is called the Grant Study, and they wanted to discover what is the secret of happiness. And they're following the lives of over 800 people um, for over 80 years. And what they discovered, in a nutshell, is something that we probably all know. Bobby told us that the secret for happiness, the secret for these people who earn the most money, these people were happiest and healthiest, the people who had warm relationships. So the secret for life is warm relationships. Believe it or not, more important than cholesterol levels of men at age 50 in predicting how healthy they will be at 80 is their warm relationships that they reported. So people who reported that they are in warm, supportive relationships were healthier when they were 80. And that was more important than so many other things that we assume are important. So the next question is, how do you get warm relationships? Well, the answer to that is our personal ethics and morals. Because if relationships depend on things like love and loyalty and connection, all that stuff. And you can't get trust if you're not trustworthy. And you can't earn love if you're not loving and generous. So our values and that inner world, the more we develop those things, the more we have the ability to earn warm relationships. The more we earn warm relationships, the higher statistically we're going to succeed at life. So this is actually, on one hand, it's been scientifically proven, but it's also so simple and obvious. It's amazing how much money they spend to prove the things that were obvious, right? Basically, what science now knows and what really should have been obvious from the beginning is that by becoming a mensch, okay, then that's the best way to succeed inside and outside. So there really is no difference between coming closer to Hashem and personal development. There is no difference between doing teshuvah and being a successful human being. It all boils down to the same thing. It's what Viktor Frankl said. Every time we're faced with a difficult challenge, we have the freedom to choose our response. If we choose to respond to the stimulus based on our chosen ethics and values, we will like ourselves more because we made a choice that we consider valuable. And we will have higher self-esteem because self-esteem is nothing more than self-value. So when we choose a life based on our values, we feel valuable. And other people recognize that value. And we are attracted to create safe, warm relationships, which attract success. So to boil all this down into the next element so I'm going to borrow now from a fellow by the name of, his name is slipping my mind right now, but he wrote a book called Peak. Maybe it'll come to me soon. And the essential concept of that this is a fellow who studied success, one of the scientists who studied success. And what he discovered is the people who succeeded most at life fell in love with practice. They forgot about the result. At some point, they forgot about trying to be the best, and they fell in love with getting better. Getting better is better than being better. People who believe that love to practice. They don't care if they fail because failure just teaches them what they can do better. And it's not about being the best. It's about being better today than I was yesterday. And when you fall in love with getting better, then both failure and success are inspiring. But if the goal is to be great, then when you succeed, so you relax, you get complacent. Oh, I'm already the best that there is, that I'm better than everybody else, so I could relax a little bit. Or if I fail, then I'm never going to make it. It's so depressing. But when it's not about being great, it's about just getting better, right? So then no matter what happens, you're always learning, right? So this is all about habit one, which is really puts us in charge of our life. No matter what our life situation is, we can always choose to respond to that situation or to whatever's happening from our personal values. And then we're becoming a better version of ourselves And when getting better is better than being better, we're always having a good time because we're always free. As Viktor Frankl says, we're always free to grow. And when growing, becoming a better version of ourselves is all that matters, well, then there's nothing to stop us from being the best that there is. Because we are infinite and we're just always becoming better. And that's how we earn the warm relationships, etc. Okay, so this is recap. We talked about teshuva. Teshuva is really about teshuva sustainable when it's about what you want. Okay, so what about kirvas elokim? What about getting close to Hashem is something that excites me. That's how it begins. And then let's apply that to habit number one, which is, well, I can always, let's apply that practically. Let's say, like I said before, let's say, you know what I like, you know what I think is great about being close to God? By the way, being close to God really means being similar to God. Because in the spiritual realm, there's no close or far. It doesn't mean geographic proximity. It doesn't mean proximity. It doesn't mean geographic distance. Close or far means similar or dissimilar. So being close to God means being like Hashem. Mafhu af ata. So if Hashem is kind and dependable, and oh, I would like to be kind and dependable. So that's being like God, right? So in any situation, if we apply Viktor Frankl's rule, I can always choose the kind response. Someone cut me off in the traffic. Someone was mean to me. They interrupted me. They were rude to me. They repaid kindness with non-gratitude. They hurt me. They said something mean. So how do I choose to respond? You know, my kids, my grandkids, they were just they pushed all my buttons, you know, like they broke all the things in the house and they smashed the car. I don't know, they did all the things. So how do I choose to respond to that? So if I choose to respond based on my chosen values of kindness and dependable, well, then I'm always the winner in every situation. I'm never a victim. I'm never reactive. I can always choose my response. I can always choose to win. That's the rule of habit number one. Once you kind of buy into this, that brings us to habit two. Habit two is, well, if the secret of success is living based on my own personal values, right, and responding to every situation based on my values, right? Well, the next question is, well, what are my values? Okay, what? And this habit, so habit two is called starting from the end. When I finish my life, when I meet Hashem at 120 years, here, I like to say it this way. Imagine coming to Hashem after 120 years and Hashem says to you, hi, I'm so happy you're here. You succeeded. You completed the mission that we sent you on 120 years ago. You did, fill in the blank. What did you do? What's that thing that you did that Hashem is so happy that you did the thing, right? If we don't envision it, if we don't plan it, we're probably not going to ever do it. So let's think about let's start from the end of the journey so that we could plan how to get there, right? So based on that, we're going to identify the values we want to live by in a nutshell, right? So in the seminar, we broke it down into like values and then like a vision and then a mission statement and then long-term goals and midterm goals and short-term goals. You know, it gets very specific, and I'm not going to do all that right now, but just keeping the short version of it. Habit number two is all about defining your values. Because once you know what is valuable to you, then you have a compass. I will do my best to respond to every situation based on my value, and then I'm always winning, even if the circumstances or events are not to my, liking or choice. Okay, that's habit number two. So habit number one is you're the programmer of your life. Make that to step into that role of proactivity. Habit number two, if you're the programmer, so go ahead and write the program. What do you want it to look like? Habit number three is you are the programmer, you wrote the programmer. Now you got to run the program, make sure it happens. Habit number three is all about time management, making sure the things that you chose are actually on your calendar. Okay, because so often we don't live the life that we chose. We live the life that other people want for us. There's so many demands on our time. There are so many responsibilities, commitments, obligations that we kind of feel like we can't avoid. And so often People are like, I'm not even living my own life. I don't know whose life I'm living, right? So habit number three can't be ignored
Okay.
because it's really powerful. And it's a whole separate, we're not going to go into it now just because of the time constraints. And I want to talk to you about Shabbos Kodesh. So I'm going to wrap up. I'm going to be really quick about habit three. But in a nutshell, what it is protecting habit two. Okay. Protecting habit two from everything else that would rob it from you. So habit number one, you're in charge of your life. Habit number two, you design your life. Habit number three, protect your life from all the things that would distract you. Master your calendar, master your time and your energy. So you get to live the life that you chose instead of the life that other people or other situations are putting pressure on you to live that instead. Okay. So we're good so far. Can I jump into Shabbos Kodesh? Okay, great. Last few minutes. So here's the thing I want to say about Shabbos. Probably the most important sentence. The sentence has two segments. The first half is designed to surprise you. Okay. So Shabbos is not the day to develop your relationship with Hashem. That's when people usually go, "Oh, what are you talking about, Rabbi?" And here's the rest of the sentence. Shabbos is the day to enjoy the relationship you already developed with Hashem during the 6 days of the week. For 6 days thou shalt work, and on the seventh day thou shalt rest. Work doesn't just mean, chopping marble in the quarry or whatever you do for a living. Work means all manners of work, including working spiritual work. So the 6 days of the week are for work. The seventh day is for enjoying the work. I'll prove it to you. We all know that Shabbos is me'ein olam haba. It's a taste of paradise. So what does that mean? So people say, well, my wife's chicken, her challah is mamish, Gan Eden. Right, so that's one interpretation. But that's not really. In Gan Eden, we're going to get better than chicken and challah. What is the me'ein olam haba? What is the taste of paradise of Shabbos? Well, one thing we know about olam haba, one thing we know about paradise is we're enjoying everything we did in olam hazeh. Olam hazeh is where you do the work, and olam haba is where you enjoy the fruits of your labor. So whatever exactly it's going to look like, we don't know. The Rambam says we don't really know what it is, but what we do know about it is today in this world, it's all about effort, and in the next world, there is no more effort. It's just about the pleasure of eating the fruits of our efforts in this world. So just if Shabbos is me'ein olam haba, so it's the same dynamic. This world it's like an analogy. This world is to olam haba the way the 6 days are to Shabbos. So 6 days is like olam hazeh when we do the work. Shabbos is like olam haba where we enjoy the work we did for the 6 days. If you think about it, they don't really have any mitzvahs on Shabbos. Shabbos is all about not breaking the sanctity, the kedusha of Shabbos. All Hashem, in a nutshell, the pasuk says, "Shvu ish tachtav al yetze ish mimkaimai." Just stay in your place and just be happy. Let's enjoy each other. On Shabbos, Hashem says to us, "Whoever you are, whatever you are, is enough. Let's enjoy each other's company." Oh, but I'm not ready. I'm not perfect. Can you let it go for today, please? Shabbos is like visiting Bubby. When you visit Bubby, she says, could you just eat chicken soup? Because I'm gonna kvel. I want to kvel when you have my chicken. Just let me serve you chicken soup or whatever it is, and I want you to enjoy it. Shefala, Shefala, enjoy the chicken soup. Don't be busy. Turn off your phone or your newfangled gadgets, and just can you just be here and be happy to be here and not be busy. And Bobby is going to get so much nachas. That's the essence of Shabbos. Hashem says all week, you have to work for a relationship with me. Because, yeah, we do have to work for a relationship with Hashem all week. Everything we just talked about in the whole beginning of our class today. On Shabbos, Hashem says, and whatever you did is amazing. And now let's just enjoy everything that we did or didn't do. It's fine. So this is like the most important message I wish like Jewish people knew more about. I've got long classes on this on on Torah anytime where I prove it and bring sources and I have a lot of fun with questions. But this is the essence of probably the most important like piece that people don't seem to know so much about. That's why Oneg Shabbos is a mitzvah, for example. And that's why it's so severe, like to break Shabbos, because it's really painful. Hashem is saying, can we just love each other? And then breaking Shabbos is like saying, Hashem, nope, no. It's like, no, I don't like you. I have more important things to do. Hashem is saying, please, please just, can I be enough for you? God is saying, please let me be enough for you. You're enough for me. Whoever you are, you're enough for me, says God. Can I please be enough for you too? That's his ask. And when we say no, so we're kind of cutting ourselves off from the source of all life, which is that's what's so scary about not keeping Shabbos. But what the beauty of Shabbos is that where Hashem is saying, hey, let's love each other, let it be enough. So let's put it all together. I talked about a lot of things right now. Let's try to simplify and show how it's all one thing. We said that teshuvah is being more like Hashem. So the question simply is, in what way would we like to be more like Hashem? What's exciting? What's attractive for us? If it doesn't feel like a kid earning a driver's license, forget it. That's that simple. If your teshuvah goal is not as fun and exciting as earning a driver's license or getting a job that you want to, then it's not going to last. So, what about being more similar to God is interesting, attractive to you? That's the secret of sustainable teshuvah. Once you know that, well, that fits right into Stephen Covey's first habit of success because you're always free to be more like God in every situation. So once you've chosen, let's say, I want to be kind, for example, you're always able to be kind. No matter what's going on, you could say, how would a kind person respond to this situation? And if I respond based on my chosen value, I always become a more kind person, always more like God, and I win in every situation. That puts you in power of your life. That's habit number one. And it's also habit number two because we already defined the habit, and then we have to find time. So it's habit one, two, three very quickly. Once you choose the value that you want to respond to every situation in your life. And here's the secret. You do this for 6 days a week, L'Kavod Shabbos Kodesh. Every day you say, I want to live L'Kavod Shabbos. I want to live a day. I want to live today in a way that makes me more similar to Hashem so that when Hashem comes to my home to celebrate the great job we're doing together, Hashem and the Jewish people, to bring the world toward its destiny, I'll enjoy the party. Because Hayom Yom Rishon b'Shabbos, today is the first day toward Shabbos. It's even a mitzvah to say those words. We count every day toward Shabbos. The Ramban says it's a mitzvah d'oraisa. Instead of saying Sunday, to say Hayom Yom Rishon l'Shabbos. Because what that means is I'm already focused on the goal. You know what? The goal is Olam Haba. The goal is Shabbos. I'm going to live my life in a way today that I can celebrate it on Shabbos. For example, if I respond to life today in a way that makes me more like Hashem, that's like being kind. So then when Shabbos comes, Hashem wants to celebrate that together with us. That's what Shabbos is about, celebrating how we've become more like Hashem. And that's what brings the world to its destiny. It's what brings Mashiach. It's what ends all the pain and suffering in this world. So we do teshuvah l'kavod Shabbos, and then on Shabbos we enjoy the fact that we are close, which is why Shabbos has the word shav, in it. We return. We return even the letter Taf, which is the last letter in the Aleph Beis, the one furthest away from the Aleph. Shav, Taf. We return even the Taf all the way back to Hashem. So let me end on a note of gratitude. It's been really wonderful to share all these words that are. It took me a few decades to learn how to give a class I just gave. Okay. It's been my personal journey, and it's very nice and meaningful to share it with all of you wonderful people. Once again, if you want to stay in touch, be more part of this kind of Torah, so I put it in the chat there. There's a link to join my WhatsApp group. It's just a one-way broadcast, so it's not noisy. I just send out a few times a week a thought. Usually something, how we can apply a Torah. It's like thoughtful, it's reflective, how we could apply something to our life. And then there's also a website there where you can access, well, first of all, these the WhatsApp, there's also an email, and then there's Torah classes on Torah Anytime, and then there's the deep dive seminars that I mentioned, the B'tachon Boot Camp and this other seminar that I talked to you about today. So I'm done. I guess I could take any questions or whatever happens next. I don't know. You guys tell me.
Well, I just want to let people know I put it in again in case you came late and you missed the first chat. I just copied it over and put that information in again.
Yes, are there any questions?
Okay, I guess
Well, I
everything is
will.
perfectly clear. Yeah.
I just want to just make a note, like an observation, that actually everything you said sounds fantastic and
Thank you.
upbeat and concentrating on the positive, it's a good way to start the day with a sheer like this, especially a Sunday, because usually on Sundays I wonder what happened to Shabbos. I want it back. Um, but in the teachings that you provide, which is not only your WhatsApp but all your teachings, do you fit also? I'm sure that you also fit in those gray areas where we have questions and darker moments, or just those spaces, as you call them, where we don't really know for sure what we like the best and how we want to do tshuva. Do you deal with that too? Because those
Um,
are the
of
questions
course.
that keep people on a hold and keep them sort of like sometimes in a rut, and then we want to move forward. So that's my little, in a nutshell, question.
Yeah, well, thank you for that. Absolutely. That's the human part of it. And I mentioned earlier, I work as a therapist, and there, like in one sentence, I think Fritz Perls said this, the guy who developed Gestalt therapy. He said, like, if you want to define therapy in one word, it's helping people get unstuck. Okay, so stuckness, I think it's what you're describing. It's like I know where I want to go, but I'm stuck. I feel like I'm in a dark place and I can't get to the light. And absolutely, that's the first step is to know that it's a positive goal, and then the next step is to say, well, what keeps me stuck? Why can't I get to the place that I know I want to get? So absolutely, I totally relate to that.
I'd
And
like
is
to
that
join your WhatsApp, Heike Guttenberg. How do
What was
I?
it?
I'd like to join your WhatsApp group.
Oh, so I welcome. Please do. The easiest way to do it is if you could just click on that link that's in the chat. It will take you direct if you're on a phone or in if you're in what how do you can you do it from Mrs. Silver? Do you know if
Someone
it's
do it
possible?
for me because I'm my eyesight isn't good and I can't see even the chat icon.
Hmm.
I'm going
Is
to
So
there
send
any?
out the link in the email with the recording of this program. So you'll be able to get it, Heike, and if you can't see it, someone will help you get on it.
okay, great. Thank you. Yeah.
it should be by Dr.
All right.
Covey's book?
What's that? What's that?
Should be by the book by Dr. Covey, the one who has the
Oh,
7 Good Habits, Stephen Covey's
I think it's a
habit.
great book. I've read it many times. I think it's a highly recommended read. I
Yeah.
developed a whole seminar on it, so I I recommend it. Yes, I think it's a
Okay.
wonderful book.
Okay, great. Thank you.
Yeah,
Does
sure.
anyone else have questions? And while we're waiting for a question, I just want to say thank you. It's really a tremendous seminar, and you bring a lot of life to your presentation, and
Thank you.
it was very easy to listen to, and the ideas were very easy to absorb. So I appreciated that. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. Wow, and thanks for all of these wonderful floating up icons. They're very encouraging. And yeah, so with that, I'll be on my way. I have something in just a few minutes. I must go, and it's been wonderful. Thank you for this
Okay.
opportunity.
So
Okay.
thank you so much, Rabbi Stauber. And if
You're welcome.
anybody, I put in the link to sign up for the daily gratitude Tehillim. If anybody would like to do that, please do for round 35. Okay, thank you so much.